And we're going to have Game 3 here between co-host JT DiMaio and our own Thomas Smiley. Thomas Smiley, as you guys have seen in the previous videos, piloting the new Deceiver Exarch Splinter Twin Pyro deck.
And as usual, I'll be playing Boros in this match.
Oh, I wouldn't say as usual, Ma. You know, you've been piloting Valakut longer.
I played Valakut for a little bit longer. Actually, I think I'm coming up on it. I think I have more experience with Boros. I think I'm better with Boros than I ever was with Valakut.
Oh, you got your first place with Boros, so...
I've strung together a couple good weeks, so... Let's see if I can make it one more in the top 4.
I think you got it in you. Just
maybe. I mean, if he goes off, and there's nothing I can do. Life totals don't matter, so... I mean, any life gain's kind of irrelevant against Splinter Twin, so... Alright, Terramorphic, so kind of a rather slow start.
Don't have your ideal turn 1.
He's going to pay 2 life, and...
Look at
my hand. We have quite a few cards in there. We have a mountain. What else did I have in there? I think a Core Firewalker.
Hopefully a Stoneforge.
Yes, I do. I believe I do have a Stoneforge. I'll be tutoring up what I usually tutor up.
The Bonehorde. And we have an annoying hand fly in front of the camera. That's always nice.
It's true. Always. And he has Mana Leak up.
And that's a Pyroclasm.
And I just passed turn.
Yeah.
And I go for a Spark Mage.
Yeah, he did some work for you last game.
He did, and he got the beats on.
No reason to take out Spark Mage in this one. Like taking out Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. No real reason to.
It's true. And he's going to do that. I'm going to blast him for 1.
And that value that you were talking about again.
It's true.
Keeps paying off.
It's true. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, 1 damage, but it'll build up.
It's a damage that you didn't have before or you wouldn't have gotten.
It's true. Did he take the damage?
For the fetch, I don't think he did.
Oh, hold on. Oh, we'll see.
We'll go back and review the tape eventually.
Yeah, no problem. Not a big deal.
So, you are using sleeves, right? This is kind of late.
I'm definitely using the perfect fits.
The perfect fits.
I really like them. They fit perfectly.
Remember, folks, always wrap it before you tap it.
It's true. It's one of our slogans here at FNM TV. Just so there's no confusion.
Yeah. Please, if you're a new player and you're watching this, buy sleeves. The extra $7, it helps protect your investments.
If you're getting perfect fits, it's only 5.
Yeah, if it is only 5 with those.
There. Sleeve of choice. Official sleeves of my Boros deck. And Teetering Peaks, swinging for 4 there.
Not good enough for the Valakut, though, JT?
Well, at one point, the Valakut had double sleeves. So...
Double wrap it before you tap it.
You know.
I heard that causes problems.
Makes your deck look huge. For the record.
And...
Anyway, I'll...
see a drawing on there.
Yep.
Play a mountain.
So, that
Stoneforge.
The Stoneforge we talked about earlier, the Core Firewalker is doing work here for me.
I mean, really, the only thing in his deck that really targets it that I've seen so far is going to be the Into the Royal.
Yeah, I mean, Stoneforge, it seems like a pretty decent sideboard point. Again, the life gain doesn't really matter, because if he goes off, he goes off, but the Bonehorde will put a faster clock on him.
And he packs all that removal, so anything aside your Core Firewalker that he kills, because he really can't do anything about it, is going to get value one way or another.
Yep. If it's in the bin, then the Bonehorde will get bigger.
Now, I know Pyromancer has been talked about a lot, and we've already talked about the Orlando ones, but what do you think can actually be splashed in this Pyromancer builds? Like, do you foresee like something like Shatter hitting the side, or like Dismember, even in the main for that matter?
Dismember's kind of rough, because you generally want to play 4-ofs in the deck. So, I mean, in copying, like, a 1-of Dismember wouldn't be as good as, like, a 2 of Jace. And a 1 of Dismember is something you really don't want to be copying, because you can't actually pay for it. So you'd be paying for a life. So it's not really ideal. The red has enough removal to where it doesn't need the Dismember. I would say, out of New Phyrexia, Volt Charge is definitely, it's already in mine. It's actually fighting for a spot with Stagger Shock right now.
Again, though, but it doesn't really help the core Firewalker situation, being a red spell with Volt Charge.
It does not, but I mean, with Pyromancer Ascension is, even if you're copying, you're still only giving them 1 life from the Firewalker, because you're not casting the copies. So I mean, like, even if your bolt does 1 less, it's still going to do 5 if you have the Pyromancer Ascension online.
I gotcha.
Actually, a card that I think is really underrated, especially in casual formats, is Artillerize.
Artillerize, actually, I had my eye on. I'm not a very big red player, but if I was, I'd probably end up putting in at least 2.
If I may.
Yeah.
We're in the... Right here, I went for a Basilisk Collar, he's going to misstep that. I went for a bolt at his head, he's going to misstep that. And a bolt there.
Triple misstep
there. It's just a quick aside, you really can't play around that.
Honestly, after the first one, I would have just assumed he didn't have another one. After the second one, I 100% wouldn't have assumed he had the third one.
It's true, but I mean, maybe my Firewalker's going to get there.
Yep, he's sitting at 4 life, and you're in a pretty commanding position. You got a guy that he can't really target. I mean, he can get rid of it for a turn, but...
It's true. I mean, I also put my Bone Horde in the graveyard there. In case you were wondering why I did that, it's because I don't really know how to play Magic.
It's okay.
I'm not very good at this game, so the Bone Horde will go in the graveyard when I see fit. And I'll come back out when I see fit.
I like it. It kind of throws your opponent off a little bit.
It does, maybe.
They don't call you on the game state change, so they can't really...
It's true. I mean, it's not his responsibility to tell me whether or not my Bone Horde is in the graveyard. I can put it wherever I want.
Yeah.
Whether or not I want to use it is my own decision, so...
Well, that was the scoop up from Tom Smiley. And
equipping the Bone Horde is a pretty big game on the core Firewalker that he just doesn't really have any answers for.
I like to call it the perfect defense against red.
It's true, yeah, I'd agree with that.
It's protected pretty much on all sides, like against damage, targeting. Obviously, like it really stating the effects of protection doesn't really do much, but like it helps everything
for sure.
So we'll get to see a look at what you sided in and out here. I mean, you've already gone into detail about the Spark Mages. You seem to be taking all those guys out of your main board.
Obviously, I put in the color, but the Spark Mages.
Do you run any color main board?
I do not.
Okay, it seems to make sense.
It's not awful. I do run 2 Spike-Shard Elder, which is kind of one more than most decks do. But I mean, bringing in the color package, I think it's fine. Actually, I do not run Arc Trail, which most lists do run, and I run
Arc Trail. I feel is a bit overrated personally. I think you get other utility
in a big aggro meta game. You definitely don't mind having it, but with all the interactions with the Bone Horde, you really would rather. Sometimes you would just rather have the Spark Mage or the Spike-Shard Elder rather.
It seems like you have more optimal setup. Plus, you want to keep your creature count high. Your board presence is extremely popular.
Most definitely.
Yeah, just I feel like you get more utility. But correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a big red player.
No. Well, I mean, you definitely want to be able to shoot things multiple times. Anytime you get recursion out of an ability like Spike-Shard Elder, it's pretty big. And I mean, he doesn't have to use his ability, so if you're strapping him up with a Bone Horde, you can just blast him as many times as it takes.
You might see Arc Trail in that new Bloodchief Ascension and Mind Crank deck.
I don't think that deck will take off, but you could see it. You could definitely see it.
It's just a fun little combo. Apparently credited to Patrick Chapin.
I mean, he wasn't the first person that I've heard about talking about it. Actually, the first person I heard about it from was Jonathan Medina. I don't know if you know who he is.
I don't know offhand.
Yep, he's a financial columnist for Star City Games, and he's on a lot of podcasts as well. So I mean, like, he tweeted the first time I saw it was actually one of his tweets, and so I saw it there, and I thought it was kind of cute, and I heard about it on some other podcasts, but I don't think it's kind of janky, if you ask me.
It has some possibilities.
It seems like a fun deck to play.
Yep.
I don't know if I would play it over Boros or play it over Valakut or anything like that.
It's rough. You gotta have some sort of support for it where it's not like your main strategy. Like, I mean, you have to make it a part of the strategy, but it can't be just the only picture in how you get your win conditions.
Yeah.
It's just too easy to take out. You add counters on, like Pyromancer's Ascension. You can essentially, in response to adding the second counter, I'm going to enter the Royal it.